And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the morning sprint. My name is Daphne Gray, and we're starting off our week on the right week. It's the first. Wait, it's not the first of March, but I will say we're starting off March. This is our green month, so get ready for our St. Patrick's Day hints and all that good stuff. Either way, right here on the Morning Sprint, we do where we can and put a smile on your face, get you knowing about the good that is happening in our community, and sometimes get you scratching your head. For example, coming up later on in the show, we're going to talk about this bad boy right here. If you're looking at your screen, yeah, that's right. You're seeing a kid poking his head out of a trunk on the highway. The question that I have for you guys that I want you to sound off on is, was the mom right or wrong? I think you got like common sense will say your answer, but at the same time, there's a reason behind why she did what she did. We're going to chat about it, and again, how this vehicle or this video went viral. And again, you're going to hear from her directly. Good story about it is that she's taking full responsibility of it. She got arrested and all that stuff, but we got the full story coming up later on in the sprint. And again, you guys were split on how you thought that she should have got in trouble or should she not have gotten in trouble. We're going to get all into the comment section later on as well. First and foremost, something serious. We got to get some serious news to knock out. We all know the devastating fire that's taking place in Texas as we speak. Well, here on a local level, the Danville nonprofit Guys Pit Crew trying to send some much needed relief supplies to Texas Panhandle as the crews continue to fight the largest wildfire in the state's history. A full semi-load of 5-gallon blessing buckets filled with non-perishable food, water, and other supplies will be delivered to a church in Amarillo, Texas for volunteers to hand out. Now, if you guys have seen the video, it is super duper crazy, man. This is what northern Texans are seeing. Smoke has fully engulfed the roads, making it extremely dangerous to drive. You got Texas Governor Greg Abbott says that the wildfires have now destroyed as many as 500 homes and structures, and the Texas A&M Forest Service says that it's only 15% contained and has now crossed state lines into Oklahoma. Again, it's a very situation that is very, very scary. I used to live in San Antonio, Texas, and I know how much a community comes together when disaster strikes. So I already know people who are out down there, the boots on the ground, are working their hardest to try to keep people safe and out of harm's way. But it's cool knowing that from a local standpoint, God's Pit Crew always coming in clutch when it comes down to trying to help others that are around our country that are struggling the way they are. So hopefully that fire gets contained soon, and hopefully the damage is not as extreme or won't get as extreme as what their expectations are. All right. So if you guys are ever in the airport and you want to, get through security really fast, well, get this, your face could be the face of technology coming down to our security checkpoints. Something that a lot of people are not too comfortable with, though. But get this, next time you catch a flight, TSA agents said that they will now scan your face at the checkpoint, and it may help you get through security a lot faster at the Richmond International Airport. The device uses facial recognition to validate your ID in real time. But don't worry. After it snaps the photo, officials at the end of the airport say it gets deleted. Says that you can also opt out of the face scan if you let the TSA officer know. So, yeah, some people, I know we're in a world where artificial intelligence and all this stuff is happening and it makes life easier, but I do understand why some people got trust issues with this, because it's just like, okay, what you doing with this? Where you taking it? But I will say that this reminds me of during the pandemic. I don't know if you guys ever had that technology where you stand in front of this little device. It kind of looks similar to that, and that device checked your temperature. You remember whenever you were going to a certain event, how they were trying to make sure people didn't have COVID, or they were taking the safety protocols or whatever. And what would happen is that you would walk in and you would have to look at this little bitty robot thing, and it will scan your face. And in that scan, it would have your temperature checked, like all that extra stuff, and then be like, okay, you're good to go. So this is what that reminds me of. Either way, it's crazy, but that's the way technology is rolling, and I guess you got to get with it, man. So sports news, moving on to this. I've been seeing this a lot online, and I think this is a really cool accomplishment. Iowa's Caitlin Clark in the history books once again. Now the NCAA's all-time leading scorer among men and women. Says it happened during a second quarter shot from the free throw line. She passed Pistol Pete Maravich record of 3,667 career points, which is a record that stood for more than 50 years. After the game, Clark said that said that it was cool that it happened, but that it doesn't change how she plays the game. So it was cool. I listened to a lot of sports radio as well, and I remember I just kept hearing her name constantly over and over and over again about how awesome and how big of a deal this is. And obviously, as an athlete, she's very humble about it. But I think what was cool is that one of the people that she said she looked up to was obviously Stephen Curry. How she said the way he played the game, and obviously he gave her a lot of kudos as well for her setting this record. So I did see some people throwing shade, but I'm just like, okay, you guys shoot over 3,000 points and then have something to say about it. Shout out to Kayla. She doing a thing, and I wish her all the best. Now, speaking of sports, guys, this past weekend was filled with some rail yard dog action. I'm not even going to talk about Saturday. Not going to talk about it. I am going to talk about Friday. Friday was ridiculous, which I got to bring the bell out, okay? Because, get this, for the first time in my little history of watching the game and knowing the game, we knocked out not one, not two, 12 points at the game. And here's the celebration right here. So yeah, as you can see, that's my loud mouth. I like to scream a lot. But yeah, no, we went to the game for WSLS night and we enjoyed our time with our coworkers. It was a blast. If you're looking at your screen right now, there's our producers and we had our engineers there. It was just so much fun, but it was also just cool seeing them knock out a win as this 12-3, guys. It was like back to back to back to back to back. So I couldn't be more proud of these boys. When they work hard, they definitely work hard. I know Saturday they they ended up slipping, but at least people got a chance to see a weenie dog race. I think that was pretty fun. And also happening this weekend, it was jam packed with other events as well. I had the chance to MC, or I went out to speak to the Salem Senior Living Center. It was super fun getting to meet all of our elderly, wise people. That was really a cool experience. And then on Saturday, I got a chance to host the Western Virginia Advertising Awards, where so many different groups got together, and basically you just saw these passion pieces of people, the different commercials and pieces that you'll see. It's kind of like the Emmys for advertising agencies. So that was a really cool experience as well. So if you guys were jam-packed, busy, and all that good stuff, drop it in the comment section. Let me know what you guys did this weekend. And somebody else who was also busy is our very own meteorologist, Chris Michaels, coming in with our weather forecast.
Happy Monday, guys. Spring-like start to the week after some fog this morning. Beyond that, more rain comes in Wednesday, especially during the second half of the day. Another round of rain that comes in Friday into Saturday. Lots to track this week. I'll be with you guys each morning on the Spring.
Yes. Okay. So again, speaking of Chris, myself, Jenna, Eric, all of us were taking place or had a good time with Read Across America. It kicked off a little bit on Friday when we went to our own different schools. Me and Jenna, we went to Monterey Elementary School, and it was so fun. She was able to speak with fourth graders, and then I think meteorologist Chris Michaels. What school did he go to again? He went to Roanoke County, I think, somewhere. Either way, if you saw his face, he had all like a mask going on, fitting the theme of their particular event. That was fun, getting a chance to interact with kids. I was able to speak with Monterey Elementary. I talked to a bunch of first graders. They are so funny, so entertaining, and just so bright. They were super duper pumped to be there and just listen to the stories that we had to tell. And I have to get a shout out to my students as well. They sent me home with these cool little thank you notes. This one is coming from Mrs. Ferguson's class right here. It's kind of like a Dr. Seuss poem of saying thank you. And then this one right here, I got some actual signatures coming from Ani Shanko's classes. This is our first grade class. So again, a very fun experience. This is Read Across American Week. So if you guys have a kiddo that is in school right now, I know they got a couple of activities to do per day and different events and stuff like that. So that's something to keep them going, keep their blood going. And obviously, if they like to read, this is one of the ways that they can get stay involved into it. Let's get to this crazy sight to see right here. If you're looking at your screen, and yeah, you're seeing a different kind of horsepower on the highway. Two horses decided they wanted to just go for a joyride on the interstate. This is video from the State Department of Transportation. They show the moment when Cleveland police officers chasing down two horses on the roadway. It says Cleveland police said that during the routine care and exercise, the two horses escaped. Vehicles came to a complete stop while animals ran down the interstate. And Cleveland police said they mounted officers promptly recovered both horses, ensuring their safety. If you're looking at your screen, like this is just, I would not even know what to believe. Like if I was driving, I'm like, I know that ain't a horse that I see on the roadway going the wrong direction and everything. Either way, I definitely would have stopped and watched and made sure. And it's good that they did hold up traffic because last thing we need to know or have or see is a horse accident. And I can only imagine the damage that would have done to whatever kind of crash that would have taken place. But good that the horses made it out safely. And again, a very bizarre sight to see on the roadways. And speaking of a bizarre sight to see, we're about to get into this story, okay? We talked about it a little bit earlier. Metro Atlanta mother says that she's taking accountability after a viral video showed her driving around with her son in the trunk of her car. Diana Schaefer is her name. She was arrested and admits that she made a mistake. She said, but says that it happened while she was trying to help others. Here's the story, and again, I want to know your thoughts about it, because if you hear this, just me talking about it, you're thinking to yourself, man, girl, what were you thinking? That's unsafe and all that good stuff. But just listen to the backstory and tell me what your views are, because some of you are split about it.
It was an embarrassing moment.
First, the video of her 12-year-old son sticking his head out of her trunk went viral. Next, Diana Schaefer spent the night in jail because of it.
I take full accountability for my actions.
She says she's not blaming anyone else. All she says she's doing is learning.
I know the potential harm that he could have been in, and I would have had to live with that for the rest of my life.
The 36-year-old says she asked her son to sit in the folded-down back seat on Saturday.
He was supposed to be sitting right here on the top of this,
so he could hold the bassinet as they drove from Buford to Duluth.
I told him to sit right here and to hold the bassinet.
So it didn't fall out.
So it didn't fly out because the trunk was up.
Schaefer says she often picks up donated baby items.
So we got milk, a bottle warmer, and some diapers.
So she can give them away to single parents.
I love to be able to give back because that's the love that I have.
Gwinnett County Police saw the viral video and decided Schaefer's good intentions were still dangerous. They arrested her Tuesday and charged her with reckless conduct and a seatbelt violation.
This was a learned lesson, and I would never put him in jeopardy like this ever again.
Schaefer says her night in jail was tough, but she says she still used it to talk to the women around her and try to help.
Just to be able to encourage the women inside the jail and let them know that no matter what we go through, that God still loves us past our mistakes.
All right, guys, it's time to make some sense of this. Okay, so you heard the whole story. You heard the backstory about why she did what she did. You see the video. You see why this video went viral. But again, some of you guys are kind of split on if you thought that this was, should she have gotten in trouble, okay? Well, one person comes in and comments and says that most of you people wouldn't have survived the 70s. We have a lot of old school people saying the risky stuff that they did with their parents on the highway, coming in and having her back in this situation or this scenario. Our next comment comes in. This person says that, funny, when I was 12, we rode in the back of a pickup trucks on the interstate. Now you make the news for riding with an open trunk? ? So backstory, the boy that you see, the little head popping out, this isn't a toddler, this isn't a 5-year-old, this is an actual 12-year-old. And I know some people's like, I don't care how old he is. Either way, he was old enough to know what he was supposed to be doing, I think. Regardless of the matter, I would not prefer having a child, that close to being exposed out there, especially on the interstate. But hey, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. This next person comes in and comments and says, I used to ride on the back of a pickup truck too when I was 12. Times have changed. You got another one who was like, I don't see the problem with this. This particular person comes in and says that, have you seen how people drive in Atlanta though? This ain't the same as when we were kids. So they're basically saying that, okay, yeah, you guys are like, oh, I used to do this when I was younger. But yeah, if you go to Atlanta, people do drive kind of all over the place. So that's just another, thing to take into consideration. This person coming in with the joke, he says that this kid's new nickname should be Bungee, which is stands for bungee cord because the kid was basically holding the bassinet inside of the trunk. So I thought that was kind of funny. And then last but not least, we got this like string of a conversation going on between some people. One person says that I don't really see the problem with this. And then the replies come in and says, you need to seek some help. They ain't being mean and stuff. Another person says, right, we were hanging out in the back of trucks and on top of station wagons doing way worse stuff. So this person again coming in saying that there's nothing wrong with this. And then another person says that why wouldn't you say something is wrong with this? He says he was just, or why did the person get in trouble? Excuse me. He says he was just sticking his head out from the back seat connected to the trunk to hold the bassinet, and he's 12 years old, not 2 or 3. He's old enough not to make any dangerous moves. So this is what you guys had to say so far. Let's get in with Jazzy Jazz to figure out what she got to say about the situation. Jazz, are you with me?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I am good, girl. I just couldn't help but just laugh throughout watching this this video and the story. But what are your thoughts about it?
It's a lot going on. And I'm just glad that nothing happened to the little boy, because I know driving on the interstate is dangerous, and especially when people are driving so fast, the car could have got rear-ended, anything could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew better. Like, he is 12 years old. He knows he wasn't supposed to be in the trunk. So I would have gotten in so much trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so weird because my sister and I was just having a conversation last night about, because used to have like this truck, well, not a truck, but like a big van, and like probably have like the back seat, well, not the back seat area, but like the trunk area where like you put your groceries and stuff like that, but there's no seats.
Yeah.
Remember, like, it was so many of us that, like, when we were traveling on the interstate, or like heading to like a trip or heading to a different state, we would all like sit in the back, like, lay down and stuff. So like, but the trunk wasn't wide open though, so that's the difference. And obviously, you don't want to shut the trunk because like that's dangerous too. But like, the trunk was wide open.
Yeah.
Just chilling with his little head poking out. Like,
See,
could have happened.
so,
but the thing is that like he knew better.
Yeah.
The kid, but like he is 12 years old, almost 13, old enough to know that he should not have been in the backseat. So I know I would have gotten in so much trouble. To the point, like, it's crazy that she made the news. Out there, she got arrested. Like, I couldn't imagine how much trouble I would be in if I did something like that and got them on the news and exposed and arrested.
Golly. So yeah, I think what happened is that again, maybe just maybe she had him set up in a position where his head and his body was in the safe area, holding on to the bassinet. But again, like you said, as a 12-year-old, we get curious. Let me look out. I can see the other cars outside the car right now, So that's probably what he did. And like you said, I'm pretty sure 100%. Mama taking accountability, but I bet Mama just like, you just wait till we get home. Because
scared for my life.
Lord bless it. Well, again,
I'm glad she owned up to it.
Right.
And making excuses, and I'm glad she realized how dangerous it was, because I know a lot of parents make excuses. So kudos to her for owning up to it, because she is the mom. After all, like, can't blame the kid. he knows better.
Yes.
He's 12 years old.
And I will say shout out to the mom, because her story of helping other people, especially single parents, and then finding a way to still give her testimony and figure out ways to help people while she was in jail, that shows that's a good-hearted woman. She just happened to get one of her mistakes exposed because little Johnny couldn't keep his head in the car.
Yeah, I was laughing when I saw the picture of his little head poking out.
Yes.
I'm sure the police officers did not expect to see something like that when they was driving.
Oh, yes. Jazz, do we have any viewers or comments today?
Let me refresh the page. See. Hold on 1 second. My computer's being slow.
Oh, it's okay.
I don't have any comments on Facebook or YouTube or on our website. But we have a lot of viewers, though. So, guys, let us know your thoughts if you're watching this later, or if you're even live with us now. Let us know what you think about this story. Was the mom right or no? So, we would love to hear what you think. It was really interesting reading through the comments and seeing how other people felt about it. And who actually rode in trunks and feeling like it's not people are being sensitive to the issue. But it was nice seeing people who thought that it should have been handled better as well. So let us know your thoughts.
Awesome, Jazz. All right, girl, you take care.
All right, bye.
Bye. Yeah, no, everybody, if you watch this video later on, please go back and let us know your views because, again, sometimes, again, when we were kids and even when I was a child, I know there are people like my parents who used to grow up. They did stuff that was kind of like, oh gosh, if police actually went back and looked at some of the things that everybody got away with, you would think that what she did nowadays was not that big of a deal. But again, to each their own. You have your own view or opinion. We're not throwing shade at anybody, but it was just a really interesting story all around that got a lot of people talking. Some people coming to her defense. Some people like, yeah, girl, you know you wrong for that. Let us know what you have to say because we would love to have that back and forth between you guys. All right. We're about to roll out. We'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Super Tuesday, so if you guys haven't cast your vote or anything like that, make sure you make it happen tomorrow. Of course, it's the presidential election, trying to get those primaries situated and all that good stuff. So, yeah, get that situated, and we'll be back here tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., WSLS.com on the Morning Sprint.